is that episode 5 of the Internet Invitational has been released. I have finished watching it, and we are here to talk about it. There's a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about Dave. We're going to talk about Paige. We're going to talk about Frankie, Brad Dalkey. We're going to talk about the results. We are going to talk about who won. So spoiler alert, spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the video and you're waiting to find out the results and you don't want it spoiled, pause, go back, watch. If you're here because you want to see whether you should watch or not, then watch, and you'll go in and you'll still very much enjoy it. But yeah, spoiler warning, I'm going to be talking about the results of the event. Listen, okay, first off, number one, so the par three course. Let's just hop right over to the screen here. I'm going to get this going while I'm talking just to get the most entertainment value for you guys. Again, I'm going to be talking about the results from this event, but first we're just going to start generally at the beginning of this episode. So anyway, let's dive right into it. Par 3 course for this one. I was a little nervous when I first heard that, when I first saw that at the beginning of this episode. Thought par 3 course, I don't know, man, feels a little gimmicky, feels a little like, why? It's not going to be interesting. Par 3 stuff maybe hasn't always historically been the best. I mean, number one, this made me absolutely need to book a golf trip to Big Cedar Lodge. Like, I've been impressed by the golf courses so far, but seeing this par 3 course, like the shots through the water, the driving through the water, it is just gorgeous, like spectacular. Like, I don't want to go there for any reason other than just to play golf. Like, I don't want to go back for an event. I just want to go myself with some friends and just go on an actual golf trip. It looks incredible. Anyways, so par 3, a little bit skeptical. I think this episode delivered. I think from a golf standpoint, this was the most dramatic episode yet. This was like the most exciting episode yet, because the margin for error on par 3 courses with hitting, wedges and short irons, with all the hazards, all the traps, all the water, it just feels so much more intense. It feels like it felt like every tee shot was almost like 17 at Sawgrass. Like that, for like YouTube golf purposes. Like, it felt like it was that intense. It felt like it was that dramatic. It felt like really, really cool and really, really exciting to see these players have to step up in big moments and hit these big shots, and everything that happened throughout. There were water balls, there were balls that got duffed and fatted, and everything in between. It was really good, really dramatic. So that really delivered from golf standpoint. First thing I want to talk about right here, beginning of the episode. So this was really interesting. Dave talked about how they basically had like a format idea and then kind of ended up getting changed because the creators like didn't agree that it'd be fair or whatever. So Dave agreed to let, if they all came to a consensus on 4 teams of 3 with the 12 people, if they all came to a consensus on like what fair teams were, he was going to let them do that. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to say the teams didn't end up being fair, because I think there's 2 standouts. Number one, I think Paige, Frankie, and who else was on the team? Mo. I think that team inherently was just a little too stacked, because, I mean, Paige is an ex-professional golfer, essentially scratch golfer. Mo is like a 1 handicap, he said at the beginning of this. And Frankie said he's like a 6 or a 7, but like, I think he can play. I've seen him play better than that. I think I've heard his handicap be lower than that, so he might have just been in a bit of a slump at this point. But Frankie also played incredible, but I still think that team right off rip was a little OP. It also very much felt like Brad was being punished for being so good, which is like, I get it, but like the fair in sport are like, there's fair as in like we're all playing the game under the same rules, but like there's also like, if you're good, you should have an advantage. And like, it felt like Brad was like, they were trying to put him at a disadvantage, especially because the format here was alternate shot. Like Brad still showed out, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but like, it feels like you're at such a disadvantage if you're playing alternate shot. Even if you're good, if you're stuck with like 2 of the worst people, which he wasn't, I'll be fair. Like, Francis is definitely not one of the worst people, but he didn't play super great for a while. And then I would say Beef is definitely, he's next to Josh. He was like one of the bottom ones. He was picked last. I think there's just, it's almost like too much punishment for him. So I didn't like that at first. I thought Team Finch, this first variation before they switched out Dog King, would have been too OP, but they switched out Dog King, so that's why Paige's team ended up being a little OP in my opinion. Finch's team was good. The results kind of made sense in that order, and we'll get to that in a second, but those were kind of the 2 standouts. I thought Paige's team was a little too stacked potentially, and I thought Brad's team was a little too like muted. I think that team for Brad would have been good, but also you could argue maybe it was OP, especially the way Frankie was playing. So was there a better way to do it in this format when they're all like having to agree? No, because there's just like the whole agreement thing makes it like inherently like someone's just going to talk over you. And like Brad's too nice of a guy. He probably didn't advocate for himself too much in there. Like it did feel like Paige and a couple other people kind of controlled the narrative. Dave actually later in the video said Paige won the tournament by just bossing people around. Well, not bossing, but like by like basically like controlling who got on whose team and kind of like winning that debate. And like, dude, people want to take that as a negative. Like I talked about that in the last one. Like Paige might come off in one way or another, and she said in her video that sometimes people can read her the wrong way, and she doesn't always have the best like social cues and whatever. But like, if I was in that situation and there was $1 million on the line, and you told me that my ability to talk, convince, sway people, negotiate, use all my business knowledge, whatever, basically like step up there and like have like a, somewhat of a lawyer type response or reaction to what's going on, and just like I'll bully my way through verbally to get myself the best team. It's part of the game. It's part of sport. Like, I don't fault Paige at all. Like, if Paige did that and goes on to win, like, pat her on the freaking back. That's part of the game, man. Like, boo hoo. Go cry yourself to sleep. If you couldn't stand up to her and you felt like she pushed you around to get the team she wanted, what are we talking about? Like, this is a competition. This is a competition. She used every bit of it. That'd be like getting upset because someone smack talked you in the game. It's like they got in your head. They used their ability to smack talk really well, and you crumbled. That's not their problem. That's yours. Like, get tougher. Like, that's, to me, that type of, I don't know. Anyway, I say that because, like, I heard so much that this episode was going to be like drama. And we're going to get to like Paige and Dave in a second. I thought that was pretty good, but like, this episode didn't really have like that crazy of drama. Like, me trying to title this episode, I'm gonna level with you guys right now. Me trying to title this episode was like tough because I'm like, I don't know what to pick out of this episode that like really is gonna like get people's juices flowing. Because like, this was, I think, the best, in my opinion, this was the most entertaining episode of like the golf and like the results of the golf. What is 48 people? The teams were almost too big, and I almost felt like it was like, I mean, I don't know, one team's gonna win, one team's gonna lose. Like, I don't really care, like whatever. Whereas this time I was getting involved. Like, I'm a big Brad Dahlke fan. I mean, obviously he's a fellow Good Good athlete. He's more like a part of Good Good. I'm just sponsored by them or their apparel company, but like still part under the same ish umbrella. So like, obviously maybe I'm a little biased, but like, I love Brad. I've been watching his 59 series. He's just playing incredible. Like, if anyone deserves to win from a golf standpoint, obviously it's Brad. And like, sure, make all the arguments you want about him being too good to be in this tournament, but like, Wesley Bryan was in here, George Bryan was in here, Grant was in here, like all these guys who have played incredible golf before, but just didn't happen to be able to get it done in this tournament. Whereas Brad is just showing out shot after shot after shot. That crazy long bunker shot he hit in this video that landed to like 6 feet. It was like Bryson literally winning the U.S. Open in that 50-yard bunker shot. He had so many clutch shots, so many clutch putts. Like, the narrative of him is just, his stock has just been going nuts, and perfect timing for him to be putting out a Break 59 series, because everyone who doesn't know him is coming off this series being like, Brad Dahlke's the best golfer ever, and then they're seeing him do a Break 59 series, which is crazy. Anyway, getting a little sidetracked. I think that and that juice and, the golf purity was like really, really good in this one. But the actual, like, I don't know, I was told that this episode was going to have like the drama crazier than Luke, which it absolutely didn't. So I don't know if in editing, maybe that got pushed to the next episode. Because again, we've had the tease from Dave saying that like it's the biggest thing they've ever done, the most dramatic, crazy thing they've ever done this next episode, or at least like in general in these last two. So now I'm saying it's got to be in this next episode, because this episode, again, we're going to talk about Dave, we're going to talk about Paige and Frankie. Like, it was good, it was entertaining, it was like enough, but it was by no means episode 1, not even close. And we'll have to see what rolls out in episode 6. So anyways, the golf purity was really, really good, and I really, really enjoyed that. I think the teams picking, getting them self-picked wasn't my favorite, to circle back to that. Like, I think they should have had still some sort of like randomization, like all the captains and then like a randomized order of picking, and then almost like a snake draft like they had done in the past. Like, I think that maybe would have been like, I don't know, might have created like a little less. But then again, I'm also championing the fact that like Paige was able to kind of talk her way into having the best team, which is like, you should use your abilities. If that's an ability of yours, then you should use it. So anyways, I think those were all kind of things I thought were very interesting to start this one out. The golf played through. It was very exciting. Paige and Dave, let's talk about that. Dave basically had said quite a few times that he thought Paige was like going to win this. He was, talking about how she was controlling Frankie. Paige in turn kept like going up to Frankie and being like, don't talk to Dave, like keep Dave out of it. So the reason why I titled this that it's getting wild between those two and put them in it and whatever is because like the more this starts happening, friction, the more I feel like maybe I kept edge of my seat this whole episode thinking that there was going to be a big blow up between those two. And I think it could still be coming. And I think that would be like incredibly entertaining. I think Dave is like probably a little intimidated to like go up and like actually like start something with Paige, but it might happen like indirectly and she might just tell him shut up, which would be hilarious. So yeah, that might be coming. And it definitely is like, it's building the tension. So what we need to look at now is we need to look at the teams that went through. I'm going to get the final team pictures up here and make sure they're correct. Yes, these are correct for the teams that actually ended up playing. So what ended up happening, and spoiler, I've talked about this a million times, Team Paige and Team Brad advanced. We had an offer from Dave at the end that those two teams could go play the 19th hole with the other two teams. If basically you win, you advance. And so it's like the top two teams from that hole would advance. You keep playing till two advance. If the two that advance are Team Brad and Team Paige, then their prize pool would be doubled. But if they don't advance, they're just out. And I agree with them not taking that offer. I thought that was still a crazy offer. Like, yes, your opportunity to double is there, but like it's one hole. Anything can happen. I think that's the disconnect maybe that Dave doesn't have. Maybe he'll know for future tournaments when making these offers is like if Team Micah or Team Finch step up there and put Micah or Finch on the tee box, there is every chance in the world those guys hit it to a foot. Like, yeah, Team Brad and Team Paige had an advantage the whole time, but I think what Dave maybe doesn't get is like sometimes in golf you can like maybe not play super well for like a stretch of time and then all of a sudden hit an incredible shot. And like just because you might not like Team Finch and Team Micah might not have been playing the greatest, that might also be more to do with their team. Like all it takes is one good shot from either Finch or Micah to have a tap in birdie, and then they're advancing. And the risk for Team Brad or Paige is they go home with nothing. They don't even get a chance to go into the finals, whereas they're already guaranteed into the finals. So I totally agree with them not taking it. And I thought that offer, like I can see they're trying to like make stuff happen because they want that drama of like the betting or whatever, but like it just wasn't enough. Like there needed, and Frankie kind of said it, there needed to be some sort of like guarantee for the teams to risk it. And Dave wasn't willing to do that. He didn't want handouts, which I get totally, but like you're also not going to get that kind of offer accepted by these guys because they all understand what golf is. In golf, there's like, you just never know what could happen. So Team Paige has advanced, Team Brad has advanced, Team Micah and Finch are officially out. So the final 6 golfers competing for $1 million are Paige, DOD, Frankie, Brad, Francis, and Beef. From the 48 down to those, it's very interesting. It's very interesting because there's 2 Barstool people in it. No Bob DeSports, but 2 Barstool people in it. 3 Barstool people, sorry, Beef. 3 Barstool people in it, which is like very... I mean, 50% of the potential winnings is going to go to a Barstool employee, which is crazy. Then you have Brad, who absolutely deserves to be there. I think Paige absolutely deserves to be there too. She's been playing really good golf the whole time. And like, as much as people want to say like drama, oh, don't like how you're like, whatever. Listen, if I've said this before, if you're using a mental edge to, and I know she's doing this on purpose, but if you're using a mental edge to talk your way into a better situation, all fair, we're all negotiating here. You just happen to be the best negotiator, and you talk yourself into this OP team that gets you to the finals. Like, who's not getting? You're a loser if you're not congratulating her for that. Like, that's just her using an advantage and like take the advantage. So those are the 2 teams competing in the finals. Listen, I've heard it 40 times that the drama in this last one comes from someone you would never expect. And Dave's saying it's the biggest drama ever. So that literally means, like, out of this list, like, rule out Paige and DOD, because Paige already has been kind of part of the drama. It wouldn't be surprising if she was part of the drama. DOD wouldn't be surprising if he was part of it. So that means we have Frankie, Brad, Francis, even him, I wouldn't be crazy surprised, or Beef. I don't think it's Beef. RIP to Beef. I don't think it's Beef. So that means we have like Frankie or Brad are somehow going to start like the biggest, craziest Barstool drama they've ever had, ever. I don't know. I still am like dumbfounded to think of what this could be. Again, also pinning it. There's all these people like Witt and Yandel and the Bob DeSports crew, even Rick Shields. He was following the groups around today, like in the carts, like watching them play. So like that could also be it. There could be like some level of like, you know, people like in the background here watching, having some interaction that creates this big blow up and this big drama. But regardless, we are set up for a very entertaining finale. I'm really excited. Like, as much as I would love for there to be more juice for me to talk to you guys about, like, dramatically from this one to react to, and, like, I do think that's what made episode 1 so interesting was all the Quan stuff. The actual golf side of this episode was awesome. It was my favorite one yet. And I know, to me, even that sounds crazy, being a par 3 course, but it was seriously incredible. The juice was there. It was very exciting. So even if you haven't watched this, even if you wanted to watch my video and you're okay with getting the spoilers and you've made it to this point and you are deciding whether you want to spend 2 hours watching this, just go watch it. It is really good. The views are beautiful. The golf's great. Like, it's really exciting. And the little, like, ups and downs in the holes. It gets close at the end. Like, it was a really good episode. It just didn't have anywhere near the juice that I was told it was going to have, or that I thought it was going to have in terms of like the drama stuff. But hopefully that's coming in the next episode. Or we've just been absolutely bamboozled, hoodwinked, clickbaited, which I know is ironic coming on me. And this is just going to be like a big nothing burger. Great golf, but like there's actually no more drama. So I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. That's episode 5. Can't believe we have one episode left coming on Thursday. They updated the release time. I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific now. On Thursday, sorry. I don't know if I just said Friday. On Thursday, this coming Thursday. So yeah, it's a little later than normal. So just be aware of that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Call me your thoughts down below. Bye.